Morning America.
Good evening. Today is a weather impact alert day. This is live look downtown Des Moines through our Sky Tracker 5 camera. We have live team coverage. Meteorologist Joe Farrell is out at Highway 169 past Mount Ayr in the Local 5 storm tracker. But first, let's go to Chief Meteorologist Chris Kuball. Chris.
Emily, it is a weather impact alert day, as you mentioned. We're tracking thunderstorms, and the strongest storms right now are in southern Iowa, and that's what we expect to transpire this evening. So far, no warnings at present, but we'll continue to watch this stretch through Union down into Ringgold County for some possible dime to penny-sized hail at times and some gusty wind. Now, underneath this, there's some rotations. There's likely a shelf cloud with this, but it's that southern end of that line that we're going to be watching. That's where we're reaching the triple point where the warm and the cold air meet, and that's where the heart of the circulation of this entire system is. It means a better wind setup overall. So far, things are behaving, but that warmth and thunderstorm energy is nosing up into southern Iowa as you see that latest update take over. Building in from the south and west is going to be that southern tier of storms that we continue to watch, especially if any one of them turns easterly. That is going to be a signal that it will be rapidly strengthening. Tornado watch in the southern two tiers of counties in Iowa until 10 o'clock. Running further north of there, not to say your severe threat is zero, but it turns more into a hail and wind risk as you rise closer to the Des Moines metro. Look outside over Knoxville as we point the camera to the north and west. It's 57, a little warmer there. We're still hitting temperatures down towards Lamoni up around 70. So the warmth is building down towards Highway 2 to the Missouri border. We'll keep this weather impact alert going through 10 o'clock. All severe threats are noted here. Best tornado risk is over southern and southeastern Iowa. And then some pops of wind and hail will also remain possible. This cluster pushes to the east and pretty quiet overnight as expected. A chilly low of 36. We'll talk the holiday weekend and check back in on that radar in your forecast coming up. All right, we continue our live team coverage with meteorologist Joe Farrell. That is down near Mount Ayr along Highway 169. Joe, I hear you have a pretty cool shot.
Yeah, we do actually. This we've been watching this storm north of Mount Ayr, and it's got a pretty low cloud base here. So I'm going to flip the camera, and you can see it kind of in the distance there. That a little bit of where it kind of narrows towards the surface a little bit, and that is where we continue to kind of see this lowest cloud base. And this storm has been showing signs, at least in radar, that is rotating a little bit, but as far as I've been able to tell watching this from a distance, it is kind of the lower end of that storm is still pretty linear, moving pretty much just straight to the east, and not so much seeing great rotation towards the surface, but certainly a storm to keep an eye on, and we will continue tracking this one as well as continuing to track any more that develop, especially along Highway 2 and places eastward. That's where we continue to see kind of the greatest environment. So that's what we've got for now. We're going to continue keeping eyes on this storm, and we'll have updates for you guys as we kind of go throughout the night here.
All right, thanks so much, Joe. And a heads up, you can stream Local Radar 24/7 for free on We Are Iowa Plus, especially when it comes to seeing stormy weather in your community. All you have to do is scan the QR code to download the app. We also have a mobile app that sends you weather alerts directly to your phone. In an update, a man is dead after he was shot last night in Des Moines. This happened on 12th Street and Keogh Way. Police say first responders found a 35-year-old man with a gunshot wound. He went to the hospital where he later died. Officers say their initial investigation led them to an apartment on Park Street where officers found people there who knew about the shooting. According to police, the victim was shot during a robbery attempt at the apartment building and then drove himself away to Keogh and 12th Street where officials found him.
Get down on your knees. Stop. Dude, get down on your knees. I'm not going to shoot you.
And in a developing story, you're seeing new body cam footage Des Moines police released when 2 officers shot and killed an armed man back in February. Earlier this week, the Polk County Attorney's Office said the officers were legally justified in the shooting of Hunter Munoz. The Iowa Attorney General's office reached the same conclusion. Police are telling us the officers who were involved in this shooting will now be returning to their regular duties. New tonight, a bill passed the Iowa legislature that would help child care workers afford to send their own kids to daycare.
Advocating for childcare is something that has gone unnoticed for a long time and something that has been more recent in the last 5 years of getting us out there and getting us recognized and for the importance of what we do.
We apologize for the technical difficulties. A bill passed the Iowa legislature that would help child care workers afford to send their own kids to daycare. Under the bill, child care workers would have to work 32 or more hours to qualify for the help. The bill passed the Iowa House last month and unanimously passed the Senate this week. A local daycare worker says this is a long time coming. She says her industry is often overlooked.
Advocating for childcare is something that has gone unnoticed for a long time and something that has been more recent in the last 5 years of getting us out there and getting us recognized and for the importance of what we do.
The bill is now onto the governor's desk where it becomes law if she signs it. Happening today, Iowa Safe Schools is hosting its 21st annual Governor's Conference on LGBTQ Youth. It was at Meadows Events Center and Conference Center in Altoona. It was created back in 2005 and considered one of the largest LGBTQ youth conferences in the country.
We really wanted to continue creating a space where LGBTQ youth from across the state of Iowa can come here, learn, network, and have fun, learning about everything from college and career readiness to future healthcare concerns and accessibility to inclusive faith communities and advocacy.
Some notable keynote speakers included Jan Sport, a star of RuPaul's Drag Race, and actress and activist Zoe Luna. New at 6 o'clock, a federal program aimed at supporting the next generation of farmers is coming to an end. The USDA has terminated the Increasing Land Access Program. In Johnson County in eastern Iowa, the shutdown canceled a local fellowship just 2 weeks after it started.
It is what it is, I suppose. I just kind of worry about the future of agriculture and beginning farmers because somebody has to grow our food. It seems that there is less and less support financially for folks to do that.
The cut is one of multiple USDA programs that's ended the past year. Looking ahead, we now know every stop along this year's RAGBRAI route. Riders will start in Ottawa and wrap up in Dubuque, the largest town on the route. And as Local 5's JD Snover reports, small communities along the way are already preparing to go all out.
In just a little over 3 months, RAGBRAI riders will take over here in Guthrie Center. For 1 week in July.
Our town and probably the surrounding towns are very much invested in showing off our town.
Iowa's small towns will be in the spotlight as thousands of cyclists roll through rural communities across the state.
The church groups, the 4-H groups, the Masons, all of those groups, the fire department, they're all going to try to come up with a way, to, in their own way, host something.
It's a community-wide effort in each town, bringing neighbors together to put on a show for riders coming from all 50 states and more than 20 countries around the world. Overnight host towns were announced back in January, but now the smaller communities are getting ready for a major boost in traffic.
We want to take the ride through rural Iowa, show the world why we call these small towns home, and get them to truly invest in us as Iowans.
This year's RAGBRAI theme centers on something uniquely Iowan, the state's iconic water towers. And in Guthrie Center, that pride is already on display.
We are actually repainting that water tower this spring, so it will have a fresh American flag on it by the time Ragbright comes. So it'll be pretty cool, and it'll all be fresh and shiny.
New towns were added to the route on Friday, and for them,
Truly, the planning process really kicks off after this week.
riders will go approximately 391 miles and climb over 16,000 feet from July 18th through the 25th. In Guthrie Center, I'm JD Snover, Local 5 News.
Looking ahead, Mercy One and Bras for the Cause are getting ready for an annual event to screen for breast cancer. It is called Muffins and Mammograms. 1 week from tomorrow, women who meet certain eligibility criteria can get a free mammogram at 3 Mercy One imaging sites. This includes women who are uninsured and underinsured, age 40 or older, and have no history of lumps or breast complaints. The screenings are a gold standard in prevention.
Our goal with mammograms is to find breast cancers at a stage 0 or stage 1 before symptoms start. And when I talk about symptoms, that's skin changes, lumps, possibly discharge.
For more information on how to request an appointment for next Saturday, you can visit Mercy One's website about muffins and mammograms. In eastern Iowa, some elementary schoolers busted a move for a great cause today. They raised money and awareness for the University of Iowa Children's Hospital. Kindergarten through 5th graders at Garfield Elementary in Davenport are boogieing with Iowa State University's Dance Marathon organization. Last year, the program raised more than $180,000. Organizers say it's about kids supporting kids, one dance move at a time.
Really just building that empathy, it's their classmates, their schoolmates that are going through it a lot of the times. So like knowing that that's happening, and then it also helps with engagement. If they stay involved with it now and then through high school, they can find it at a collegiate level because it's across the whole country.
They are into it. I love it. Organizers say this is one of their first big event opportunities this season, with plenty more of them to go.
All right, live look outside. We're going out to the storm tracker. Looks like it's getting a little bit of a car wash as it repositions. Strong storms down over Ringgold up into Union County. We're tracking it on the other side of the break, hour by hour with Futurecast next. We're keeping tabs on current conditions from the Local 5 storm tracker. That's the look outside. We're looking up. It appears to be towards the inflow into that storm. Appears to be a bit of a shelf cloud as it moves from right to left too. So far, these storms, as they move across Union and Ringgold County, continue to stay below severe limits. But it's going to be the southernmost section of the storm we're going to continue to watch for maybe some of that re-intensification. That's going to be the best environment as you're down in that southern tier of counties. There it is, lined up from about Lormore towards Afton, Tingley, and Mount Ayr, and moving individually to the north and east at about 40 miles per hour. But the overall line is continuing to build on the south edge and progressing eastward a little more slowly. Some thunderstorm level rotations in here. We've seen some trying to become a little bit more organized, but failing to rise to that occasion that we'd be concerned with a tornado at this point. And there's not really even all too much for hail signatures, perhaps some pockets of reaching up towards dime-sized hail in there in parts of Union and Ringgold County. So far, fingers crossed, we keep it that way. Everything is behaving. There's plenty of rain existing further north and up through northeastern Iowa, perhaps some pea-sized hail, and that's just because of how cool the environmental setup is here. But that warm front is working its way into southern Iowa, and it's on that south side of it, especially tucked in close to this area of low pressure. So right where that storm is, that'd be where the best environment would be to kick up the strongest level of thunderstorms. And on that other side, that's where we get that surface-based thunderstorm energy to work with. And it's still trying to rise a little bit further northwards. I think we're going to be confined to areas south of US 34 for that greatest risk of seeing that big, bad, robust thunderstorm. Tornado watch is in place for this area until 10 o'clock. Look outside now as we move up to West Des Moines and Des Moines. Temps into the 40s. We have some rain. We've even had some rumbles of thunder, but the severe criteria stuff is going to be hunkered down to the south for now. Not to say that we can't get something with some wind or hail in central Iowa, but that tornadic threat looks to be better served closer to the Missouri border. Now, we've seen plenty of rain in the last 48 hours. Also not listed here, Centerville rising more than 2.5 inches of rain as well, just like Ames. So there's spots that have seen plenty of rain. And with more thunderstorms rumbling through tonight, there's a low-end opportunity that we could see too much rain, but it'd take multiple thunderstorms over some of those areas hardest hit in the last 24 hours to really make that happen. It's 68 in Lamoni, so that warm front is into southern Iowa, trying to nose its way a little bit further north. And watch as we continue to see a cluster of showers and thunderstorms move through down the south. It's that southern end of the line that we'll be most focused on going forward. But we're running out of time here. If we don't see much of anything going by about 7:30 or so, I do think the rest of the night is going to end up being quieter. Speaking of quieter, tomorrow morning, that's what we'll see. It's cool and blustery, though, as we go through our Saturday, even pulsing up perhaps a couple of small shower opportunities that would be very, very isolated and overall dry setup here. So we'll continue to watch that, but some weak instability rounding the backside of this low. A gust to 35 miles per hour through the afternoon and evening, perhaps just a little bit stronger than that. It's going to make that cloudy sky feel even colder out there. We'll start tomorrow at 36 degrees and rise only to 44. We are going to have that blustery wind in place, clouds in place as well, and temperatures should struggle. A little bit warmer down in the south, close to 50 degrees, but no one is going to call our Saturday on the mild side. All those Easter egg hunts across central Iowa, well, we're going to give it the yellow egg, and not to say that these hunts won't happen. They will. It's just not going to be the most enjoyable with that temperature trend as you see here as we continue on through the late morning and afternoon. You add in the wind gusts that are going to be rising up. You see that darker brown shade up towards 35 miles per hour from time to time through the day. It will make a bit of a difference. That precip chance is increasing late next week. I'll show it to you here as we continue on Thursday and Friday. That's where we start to dive back into something with rain, a little bit more substance. Yes, there's a small chance in there on Monday too, but that should appear to be light and more on the spotty side of things. But we do churn out a few days. We're going to be watching for plenty of soaking rain opportunities. Those temperatures will bounce around a little bit. Nice bounce back just in time for the holiday, only to return. Monday and Tuesday back into the 40s. There's a string of generally 60s ahead with one little spike in there for Wednesday. That looks to be a mild day as well. Perhaps a bit on the breezy side leading into that soggy stretch ahead.
That's why you wait till Sunday to have that Easter egg hunt. It has been 12 years since the last time Bosnia qualified for the World Cup. Celebrations erupted all over the European country after their big win. Here in Des Moines, we have a Bosnian population of about 10,000. Many were closely watching the game.
The celebrations back home in Zenica, where the game was, as well as in the capital Sarajevo, and the entire Balkan region is just beautiful to see. It's a lot of emotions for people in Bosnia, as well all Bosnians in the diaspora, including here in Des Moines, Iowa.
Bosnia will now face Canada, Qatar, and Switzerland in the first round of the final cup.
That's a doable group right there. I mean, Canada's tough, but Bosnia and Herzegovina might be moving on out of group play here in a few months.
Oh, we'll have to watch and see.
Yeah, I love me some footy. Love me some footy. I love Fred Hoiberg, too. He's the AP national coach.
Now we're talking basketball.
Yeah, you got to talk basketball because we're talking about the mayor coming up in sports. We're going to talk about what Hoiberg did this season to be nationally recognized as one of the best in the land this year. From Ames to Detroit, back to Ames. Tyler Roll, who was with the Lions, says the tight ends coach last year is in his first spring as Iowa State's offensive coordinator. It was one of the offseason's significant hires from Jimmy Rogers. And as the leader of the O, Roll likes where his unit's at, but he doesn't love it yet.
There's a lot of good. But then how consistent can you be? How are you able to practice with the championship habits, the finish, the effort, the physicality, every single rep? That's what's demanded. And no, there's glimpses of really good, but then there's glimpses of we have a long ways to go. So I'm happy. I'm just not satisfied.
2 years ago, Roll led the running backs, a group that helped the Cyclones go 11-3 in his lone year in Ames. He was also assistant head coach, too. Speaking of Ames, the mayor had an amazing year. The AP knows it. Fred Hoiberg is the AP Coach of the Year. The Nebraska head coach led the Cornhuskers to their first ever trip to the Sweet 16 and first ever NCAA tournament win. Nebraska finished the season with a school record 28 victories. Its rival Iowa got stronger this week. In case you missed it yesterday, Jaden Kuhn committed to Iowa. The Mr. Basketball winner from Storm Lake was committed to Creighton. But a coaching change with Greg McDermott reopened his recruitment. Kuhn, a 6'7" guard, averaged 22 points and 9 rebounds per game this year. Huge get for the Hawkeyes, Chris.
Absolutely. Let's check out that 10-day forecast. We have temps that are going to be cooler tomorrow. We'll bounce back for Easter, and then Monday and Tuesday back into the 40s. So a cooler stretch of Daisy C on down the line. There's some soaking rain opportunities in there. We're still tracking storms in southern Iowa. Nothing severe at the moment. A couple of pockets of smaller hail, but so far, fingers crossed, things behaving.
See you back here tonight at 10. Have a great night.